And we are back with another One Piece manga review. This is chapter 1114, The Wings of Icarus. We're mainly going to be talking about this. We may touch on some things from 113, but 113 was pretty much set up for this, and this basically nails everything that 113 was setting up. But joined as always, we got my brothers Jazz and Versen. I don't know who I started with last time, so I'll start with Jazz this time. Jazz, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. It was a pretty long day, but you know what? A One Piece chapter dropped, so it's not a
Yeah.
bad day.
Yeah, facts. That's how I feel. Like, we're recording this late at night because I'm gonna be out of town on Sunday to Wednesday. Jazz is going out of town Saturday, but like he said, it don't matter because we gotta talk One Piece, especially a chapter like this. So you guys, you won't get any videos until next weekend, but next weekend we'll give you some more. Also joining us, Versen. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Did a lot of manual labor yesterday. Kind of showed up
Oof.
today. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was for a good cause.
Oh, okay.
You know,
At least I thought it was like some house. Like, I hate having to do manual labor at my
dude,
house.
it was
It's the
so much
worst.
worse. I went down to the Tulane dorms and was part of like a trash rescue. The things these rich
Oh,
kids throw away, like whole
oh,
TVs, like new TVs that they'll just come next semester and get themselves yet another new TV,
damn.
all kinds of shit.
Did y'all donate that to the
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
yeah.
nice.
We split it with Goodwill, and there's the Fred Hampton Free Store that we also work with,
Oh, nice.
and we also we take clothes, we wash it, and then we dry it, and then we give it to women and families in need or whatever who need new clothes or
Hell
whatever.
yeah. I
So
always knew you weren't just a guy that talks the talk. I always knew you walk the walk. But that's really fucking dope, man. Like, that is great that you are doing that and helping out the community. Also working with a project called the Fred Hampton Project. For any African Americans out there listening, that's dope as hell to me.
oh yeah, they got a really cool little thing going down there in the Ninth Ward. It's fucking cool.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so and now it's midnight, and we're about to record a chapter. And as I'm looking at the title, I can think of, man, I could actually use some wings right now.
Funny
Some
enough,
wings would actually
I
help.
ate wings for dinner, so it's full circle.
And
I
you don't
got
share with nobody.
what, bro?
Damn.
You live in Lydia, not to dox you or
Wow.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a
Dox him.
crazy doc,
That's
bro.
funny.
Didn't even hit me with the
Damn.
general
I didn't hit
ordinary
him with.
Iberia.
I didn't hit his street or anything like that. I just said the city, and like, you know how far that is from
City?
Lafayette,
All right.
our village.
There you go. I'm glad you didn't
Y'all,
consider me
y'all
becoming
are
the
like
town.
Tokoyashi, bro. Y'all are like fucking Lydia is basically, I won't even say the Arlong place. Lydia is basically where Luffy grew up at. That
Yeah,
little one street
we're the
village.
village hidden in the sugarcane, man.
But
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
Legends grew out
no.
of that village, so
Facts, big facts. And sugarcane is fire for anyone not in Louisiana. If you have never eaten sugarcane from the stalk, it is an experience. I will say it's been too long since I have. If I ever move, I'm definitely got to get a collection of my favorite Louisiana items: crawfish, boudin, sugarcane, and maybe like some gumbo.
yeah. I'm gonna miss Boudin when I go somewhere else though.
Learn how
That's
to
gonna be
make it, dude.
sad. Mhm.
Figure it out. Come on.
Make it? Nah, personally, nah, it's not the
Fine,
same.
I'm sorry. I forgot you guys are bougie. Order from Double.
No, we're not bougie. I'm just saying it's hard to make boudin, bro. Those people make it really good.
I can only make simple recipes.
Facts.
Right. It's just like a rice dressing in a skin. You don't even need the skin.
Yeah, you
And
need the skin.
I mean some herbs and spices. Yeah. Okay, so you're a skin on type of guy?
I'm a casing. I eat the skin. People say you're not supposed to. I eat it, bro. I think it's fire.
I mean, we inhale microplastics all day, so I mean,
Yeah.
is it really that much of a deal? Like,
No, I don't think so.
It's all natural. For me, the only thing is, as I eat it, it kind of looks weird. You know
fair.
what I mean?
No,
There's
fair.
a good point where it's like,
Well, it depends. I know exactly what type of piece you're talking about with the funnel at the end. See, if it doesn't have the funnel, it doesn't look weird. It's just normal. But with like the little funnel skin, like
it
big
starts to
thick
look
part,
uncircumcised.
yeah, it starts to look like foreskin. Like,
Well,
but I
I'm glad
digress. People
I'm
are
glad
not here to
everyone has
listen
turned
to
away.
Buddha talk. This is not
There
Buddha
is One
talk.
Piece in this pod.
Yeah.
This is One Piece talk. All right, as you know, we go through and do a brief summary, and then we dive into the specifics of each part of the chapter. We will start off with the cover story because there is something that I want to talk about there. But Yamato gets their journey from Kinemon, and they begin. The chapter starts off at Marine HQ. The Marines are like, what the fuck? No way the world's going to sink. And then we just see Akainu at his desk per usual, staring off into the abyss, probably staring at Dragon, who's also sitting at his desk, staring into the abyss. We'll get into them chumps as well. We then cut to the mock town where the people who were laughing at Luffy are also laughing at Vegapunk. They don't ever want to believe anything the world tells them. We then cut to Water 7 where people in Water 7 are like, if they would have just said this city, then we would have believed them. But can it happen at the world? Like, is that possible? And then it cuts to Paulie, who they ask, and Paulie's like, I don't know, brother, possibly. And then it cuts to Doflamingo, and Doflamingo's like, damn, Magellan, you better bring us to the top. And he's talking about going above the red line to marry Joa. And I feel like Doflamingo knows some shit that we don't know yet, and basically telling Magellan, do you think this is possible? Well, Magellan asks, do you think it's possible? And Doflamingo's like, I mean, I think so. And then we cut to the Mermaid Kingdom, and they're like, what's going on? And King Neptune's like, Hamon, I don't know Hamon. And then we cut to some more Marines, and they're like, enough with these lies, Vegapunk. And after the Marines are like saying enough with these lies, we cut to the Gorosei, who are like, nah, these aren't lies. And then we see all four of them, and they're basically, all five of them are going to try to attack every transponder snail that they can to try to get this message to stop. But the message continues. We then cut to Smoothie, Long Ring Island, with the guy with the stilts that grow, which makes me think Joy Boy affected that island, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We then see Aokiji with his cuts on at full of lead. And then we cut back to where Saturn is. He's attacking the Straw Hats, and the Straw Hats are trying to do some defense. But Saturn's like, I don't have time for this, Straw Hats. Y'all get out of my way. And then he bypasses them to go destroy another transponder snail. And as he's going to destroy another transponder snail, he cuts into the room where the Mother Flame is. We then see what the Mother Flame looks like finally inside this domed water type vessel. We'll talk more about that. We cut back to Luffy and Dory and Broggy as they're attacking Warkery. We then get a shot of Eam as Vegapunk is talking. Eam, we get 3 dots. The Celestials are like, is this possible? They're even questioning at this point. We see Saul's laughing at this like, oh, it's coming out. We then see more villagers. Vegapunk explains more shit about what's going on in the world, the Void Century, and starts talking about the first pirate, Joy Boy. We then cut back to the Straw Hats and Edison Edison's like, I'm going to make sure they escape. And then the final panel is Luffy punching Warkery with Dory and Broggy laughing because it doesn't affect him, and Luffy makes a funny face. And again, we find out that the first pirate is Joy Boy. A lot in this chapter, fellas, a lot to discuss. But funny enough, I definitely want to start with the cover story because it begins, Yamato is starting their journey, which leads us to when Yamato once walks around Wano in Trans versus Wano, they can come out to sea and meet the Straw Hats. I'm always excited to see what Yamato is doing.
You know, I have one question though, right? And it's a legitimate question though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand that Yamato is taking this journey because they want to take the journey around.
Yeah, and they never been to Wano.
And it makes sense. And it makes sense that like Kinemon would want them to do this. But okay, I have to ask one question. Did Yamato ever meet Yasue?
Oh yeah.
No. I'm not saying that they had to for this journey to matter. But like, I was looking at this cover story and I was really thinking to myself, I was like, did they ever meet Yasue?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so, and I agree where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think this is just killing
two
birds with one stone.
Yeah,
where it's like, okay, Kinemon knows Yamato wants to travel around Wano, so since they're doing that, we might as well allow them to transport Yasue's sword.
Well,
that way that Kinemon don't have to leave the capital.
Well, also on top of that, though, remember Yasue was Odin's like dude.
Oh yeah.
That was his mentor figure who taught him how to be an actual lord.
True.
So if
it could affect Yamato that way.
Yeah, Yasue is probably almost like a figure of legend in like
Yamato.
in the story of Odin, because it's like, oh, that's the guy who turned him from like an animal to like an actual like
And to that point, that's a great point, Versen, because also if you think about it, look at the picture they showed of Yasue. They didn't show old man Yasue that was silly and like having a smile and down on his luck. They showed Daimyo Yasue. So I think that's a great point as well, Versen, what you said.
Also, it's kind of fucked up that I was looking at this. It's also kind of fucked up that like the sheath of, or no, not the sheath, the scabbard of his sword looks like a smile fruit.
Oh, it does. Wow.
I thought that was kind of fucked up, low key. I was like that. I was like, you foul for that, Oda. I'm not gonna lie.
That is kind of foul. I can't lie. Also, look at like the journey Yamato's going around the mountain and then like deep in and then back to the like. Yamato definitely could have went straight from that flower capital to the X. I get why they're going around for the journey, but it's just like, damn, Kinemon, you sending Yamato all around the damn planet just to deliver this damn sword.
Yeah, well, a guardian has to know who they're protecting.
True. All right, where do y'all want to begin with? Oh, actually, no, I'm a pick where we're starting today. We're starting with Akainu's bitch ass staring off into the fucking sunset. What are him and Dragon doing? I posted this meme of them having a stare off. I'm sorry, but Akainu should have had a bigger reaction than that to hearing Vegapunk say the world is gonna
hold
sing.
on. Well, wait. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna let Versen go first.
Well, two things. One, I think it's very important. Like, granted, yeah, I do think that like it's a little bit of a downplay that Akainu doesn't react as much as he used to. But I think that if anything, this is kind of to be ambiguous. This might be the start of Akainu being like,
I gotta leave.
Oh, the five elders knew about this, and that the world we're claiming to protect is just like not going to be around eventually because it's all sinking. So I think this might be him starting to plot and be like, oh, maybe I should just be straight up the king of the world then.
You think he thinks that?
I think he's been waiting to fight the Celestial Dragons for forever because I think he didn't realize when he became Fleet Admiral that he was going to become their bitch.
I definitely agree with that.
Was right.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. He definitely think he was going to be their bitch. I don't know if he wants to be king, but I could definitely see this as the start to him overthrowing the Celestials so his Marines can run the government the right way. I don't think he would want to be king either.
Well, listen, I'm just using king as like a...
Oh, as a term? Gotcha,
yeah, I don't necessarily know he wants to be king, but I think he wants to be like the dominant military.
And have the Marine people actually in charge.
I mean, hell,
he might even figurehead.
He might even have the Marines vote and shit, and like make like a dictatorship democracy thing where it's all military.
A republic,
but still, he's still at the top until eventually gets old and then he makes a successor. So, but I will say on top of this, one thing that it should be noted though, it's important that Akainu knows it because he's the one guy, maybe kind of, that we know for a fact whose Zoa fruit could actually help mitigate this.
Oh, true.
He could dedicate if he really wanted to do something really cool. Like depending on how exactly this works and how the flooding is going to happen,
he would spend the rest of his days.
He would spend the rest of his days turning islands that are lowest into mountains and then moving from island to island.
That's a good point.
That's not what he's about.
No, yeah. Well, we don't know that. He might be down to do that for certain cities. We know he's not going to do it for pirate. For like pirate allegiant places, like I don't think he would do it for Dressrosa and some of these places that support Luffy. Yeah, facts. Or Revolution places, but like normal, like his old island and islands that he values, I could definitely see him doing that for. Jazz, what
that might be I was gonna say that might be a thing for him to do end of story, not necessarily when he's reformed, but after he's just a guy wandering.
Yeah, when he's no longer a Marine.
Yeah, when he gets his shit slapped.
Yeah, facts. If he doesn't die,
him or someone who takes his fruit. Maybe someone at end of story will take his fruit and do that. Who knows?
All right, Jazz, what were you gonna say about the whole Akainu staring off into the distance?
Okay, so first off, I am not an Akainu fan, but every time Oda draw this man, he be looking crispy.
I will say his facial hair is on 10. His facial hair is on bleak right now.
He definitely didn't put that same energy into Hina, who's also in that panel up top.
Oh yeah, she's not. None of them people in that panel got that crispiness. Like even his cigar looking good, man.
That's because they're all. That's because if you're not an admiral,
you cheeks
in the Marines, you're fucking butt. Your butt. I'm sorry.
Your booty cheeks.
Your butt.
You suck, my dude.
But anywho, I feel like it's important to notice that like So if I just saw Akainu react this way, I would have just been like, "Damn, this is memes. This is funny." Because like Akainu and Dragon are doing
I
this.
definitely
But
posted the
Aokiji,
meme in the Discord.
but Aokiji reacted the same way. Like
Mm.
Aokiji just didn't say anything, and it's like I feel like this is one of those things to where
They
like
know something.
the admirals have like a hunch. Because here's the thing: why do all the admirals have like fruits that can somewhat
Help the situation.
counter like the flooding situation? So it's like Green Bull has like the forest shit, right? Then I guess you can kind of say Fujitora is the odd one out here because his gravity is not elemental. He's like
But
the
it could
only
affect
odd
though,
one
like
out,
the
but
way that you could do the gravity could like affect the
like he
flooding
could honestly
situation.
he could honestly like pull islands out of the water, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was gonna say he could send him up top to Skype. He has a luscious word.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
also the way that Versen was talking about with Aokiji using the magma to create rocks and mountain. I mean, talking about Kainu doing that. Aokiji can do something similar with his ice. Like it would be like a cold place, but he could solidify islands with the ice. The odd man out is Kizaru with his light. I don't necessarily know how light would help this situation, to be honest.
You could
That
maybe
is-
use it to break a storm, like if a big storm or waves coming. you
Should
could
be,
probably
like
use-
shoot the light. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. Shoot
I
the
don't
beam
know. Like
through
it's got some stuff is kind of a stretch. One Piece.
but he's
you know,
definitely the odd man out because I think Fujitora, whoever's
Yeah, no,
it might have been Versen,
Fujitora,
bringing it up to Skypiea or even just holding it up while the flood is coming and then putting it down on the new way to where it like settles anew, and then have like Aokiji put some ice at the bottom of it to make it work in the new way. However, that I don't know the science of it. I'm not a science guy, but that seems like it would
if
work.
they all work together, they could probably make an island in like a day.
Mm-hmm. The
Like a
next
decent
thing,
island.
the next thing I think is worth mentioning is seeing Paulie's reaction because that's a city that we know is been dealing with this, and like seeing his reaction is like, no, bro, I think this could happen based upon how much shit has been going down here. I can see it happening other places as well.
I would say that's a good difference between to be
Mocktown.
honest, well, Mocktown, because we know all those people are assholes, but also like in general, you're seeing a difference between people who, whenever it comes to, and I'll just say it, climate change, they're the people who are comfortable and don't think it's going to happen and they think it's a myth because it doesn't personally affect them, versus people like Water 7, where it's like, guys,
Directly
we're already
affect.
fighting Aqua
Yeah.
Laguna every year. We've already built it. Our city is already sinking. So at that point, it's a much easier step to just expand your mind and be like, oh, this could literally just be everyone.
right.
And then love seeing Doflamingo. Like Doflamingo, his conversation with Magellan, I was like, oh, it's about time we see him because it's like he knows some shit. And the fact that he says we could always go somewhere high up, it's like, oh, you know that the Celestial Dragons did that on purpose. You know why they chose that spot. And it's like Dofi's gonna be a key factor when it's time to take down the Celestial Dragons to get everybody on board with hating them. Like, Dofi's going to be that guy from the mob that goes and snitch on the mob and gets the Rico charge brought down. The Rico is going to be brought down on the Celestials, and Dofi's going to be one of the people that testifies to get all the Celestials brought down, I feel.
Dude, he's like going to be a drama streamer. You put him in front of like one video sale, he'll spend all day.
Yeah, he gonna
just
leak,
with the
bro.
allegations.
He gonna tell everything, bro. Dofi is about to be Tekashi 6ix9ine times 10. He is about to snitch his ass off.
Just gonna pull a little black book and go like down the line and be like, let's start with Charlos today, guys.
We got the
It's gonna be
Figureland
funny.
family. Mind you, Shanks is a part of this family, but this is what his family did. And he gonna just list it all
Gonna
down.
accuse
Hey, guys,
Darling
did
of
you
being
also-
a deadbeat.
Did you guys also know that Monkey D. Dragon is part Celestial
Still
Dragon?
dragon?
Wow.
Whoa.
It was like it's in the name. There's levels to this. Like and subscribe for more. Dear Shanks, I'm sorry that man is your father.
Doing all of this and courtesy, got to shout out our warden for allowing me to stream today. Shout out to Magellan. You make sure you go follow him on YouTube as well, on SnailTube.
Everyone drop Pepto in the chat.
Hey, chat, should I eat Magellan's poison today? 5 million clicks, yes for yes. 5 million clicks, no for no.
Magellan
Oh my
mukbang.
god.
Mukbang Magellan.
Gotta get the Magellan grimace shake.
Also, like, wait, so wasn't Suru guarding him for a while?
She brought him. Yeah, she brought him to the
she
prison,
brought
but
him.
it's just been Magellan personally guarding him, so the assassins don't kill him.
I know Magellan gets
Sick of him,
tired sometimes because
bro. Magellan should be an admiral candidate. I'm sorry, Magellan's stronger than a lot of these pussy ass vice admirals.
He won against both Luffy and
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard did not beat him.
Blackbeard told crew, by the way.
Like Magellan has the one fruit that can take out anybody, bro. Like
if hockey's up to snuff.
Oh, it's over. Like if Magellan knows if Magellan has a Virgo level capacity for hockey, it's over for people. Like it is done. So I don't know why Magellan is just, but maybe he needs to guard Impel Down because no one else is strong enough to do it.
Yeah, Impel Down used to be something that was considered super important that you would want an admiral level person doing.
Yeah, true.
Then it got smoked very quickly.
Yeah, facts. It got fucked up courtesy of the latest Yonko. Next up, I don't really care about what the fishermen people have to say. You know, it's just if y'all got anything, y'all can talk about them.
I would say that like there might be a schism in the fishermen between like, oh, those land dwellers fucking deserve it. And we could, and if the island sinks, then we can inhabit it. But also, we have to keep in mind the fisherman's dream is to one day share the sun with humans. The surface. So if all the fucking islands are gone, they don't get to be in the sun either.
Yeah,
it definitely fucks them.
Plus, we also know that the fishermen royalty are also empathetic people. They don't hate all humans, so they're probably worried too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most fishermen are just like, I mean, like, we wouldn't want everybody to drown, and Arlong and Hody Jones are somewhere like, fuck them.
Arlong and Hody Jones are literally taking a water bucket and putting it into the ocean.
To put
they're actively helping.
They actively try. We doing our fisherman karate to put the water on the island, nigga. We speeding this up.
It's gonna be so funny. It's gonna be so funny seeing like, because when the Impel Down breakout happens, we're gonna see Arlong too.
Is he gonna get a free upgrade, by the way? Like,
no, he should not. Let him just stay fodder. But no, I'm gonna be honest. I would rather Arlong get the boost than Hody Jones. Like, to me, I always thought Arlong was stronger than Hody Jones, but like, I don't know.
It'd be nice to see Jinbei and Arlong
reconnect. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that for sure. I'm gonna skip over because the Gorosei are just moving. I think it's interesting seeing they go to Long Island, whatever that one is, the stretch one. I definitely think that's an island that Joy Boy personally visited and his fruit awakened and affected it. And that's why this island is all stretchy and certain things are weird on this island. I definitely think that's where Joy Boy went at some point.
You think it's malleable to like actually survive the flood?
That's a good question. Because everything is longer there. Like the fact that he has stilts ready for this moment. Like I can honestly think that could have been the one island that Joy Boy probably went to save before everything ended. Like that might have been his test island. Yeah, his last stand / the one he could save.
And keep in mind, it is where you land once you crash out of Skypiea.
True.
That's right.
So that makes a lot of sense too.
Joe Boy's stuff up in Skypiea would also know. I will point one thing about the Gorosei stuff. They did, granted, fan translation, they did say, snuff out every living thing you can sense, which might be an escalation.
Oh yeah, we're gonna kill everybody here and let this.
Yeah, Marines, Giants, Straw Hats.
It don't matter. They all gotta go.
Yeah, we're basically glassing it.
Yeah. And then to Jazz's point, we do see Aokiji just chilling, what's up with this? And it's interesting that they show Full-Lead, but we just see Aokiji. It makes me think, where's Blackbeard? He's out there scheming. He's doing something.
Honestly, if anybody, I would love to hear what Blackbeard
thinks at the time. Yes!
If anybody, that's the one dude I would. It's crazy. I didn't even say Shanks, but I feel like Shanks. But see, I can't say Shanks because I feel like Shanks already knew this.
I think that's questionable. But to your point, I definitely care more what Blackbeard thinks right now than Shanks, because I don't know how much this affects Shanks. Because honestly, you could definitely, to your point, Jazz, you could say Shanks knew because look at his crew. None of them have devil fruits. They're all hockey users. He might have been preparing for this, but Blackbeard, with the flip of having all devil fruit users, definitely want to know what he thinks at a time like this.
And
Blackbeard just in that room, just like fuck.
Also,
I gathered the wrong type of crew.
Blackbeard allegedly also being an archaeologist who wants to know the hidden secret of the world.
True.
That's got to be a couple things. Because one, he won't know it if if an important island somewhere is flooded or has already flooded, or
you won't get that info.
Yeah, you know, and also he wants to like rule the world or whatever and turn it into like whatever. He can't rule it over if it's 90% fucking water and it's just a strip. I mean, he can rule it, but like it's not the same prize as it was before.
Yeah,
it's funny because he's also like indirectly helping the sea level rise because
of the quick.
So it's like,
honestly, it makes sense because think about it like this. I'm sure Whitebeard towards the end of his days wasn't using his fruit as much to fight. Meanwhile, Blackbeard, anytime he get the chance, we just using that bitch. He don't use the darkness fruit anymore. That's like his trump card. It's now like, let me just spam earthquake moves. And honestly, that definitely probably played an effect along with Lelouch and everything that the government was doing. I could definitely buy
honestly,
into that.
If I had just had an ability that was a big like fuck everything in that direction, I don't think I'd use my main ability.
No, you saying you use the one that's the fuck everybody, the earthquake one?
Yeah, because you see how Blackbeard be pulling out that yami when he be when his back's against the wall, but
he was about to lose to law, and that nigga said, "Nope, come here, boy."
I will say it's also interesting. We don't see anybody talk about it, but we did go to Alabasta and get their reaction. So Alabasta knows about it, even if they don't currently have royalty, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they do. I do like Robin saving the Straw Hats. That shit was tight. Because Saturn doesn't care about them. Like, Saturn's not worried about them right now. At least at this moment. It's like, we got to stop this message. But
yeah, totally.
But that just goes to show how much like the non-Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, Jinbei Straw Hats are just like.
They're stopping him from completing his goal because he was trying to steal Robin. He didn't do that.
He didn't, but like they ain't do nothing. They ain't really do no effect.
You don't want to say the facts. That nigga Saturn is a jobber.
If he a jobber, then Jesus, what is Chopper?
Chopper took a hit, no problem.
Chopper took 3 hits.
Yeah, Chopper got good. Like he literally has great defense against.
That's nice.
So you mean to tell me a venom tipped pointer from Saturn can't pierce a guard point Chopper? It might be time to have that conversation.
Look, all right, look, man. I'll give Chopper props for that.
Better men than him.
But I'm just saying, them niggas didn't do no damage. Like Nami, Sin, and Zeus, that's not doing shit. Usopp, keep them little grass bullets to yourself, buddy.
Lynn, they managed to like wipe half his face off. And let me ask, what did
was that him? Was that them, or was that because his face on fire? Like I'm giving credit to Luffy and everybody in the Giants. Luffy, I'm not giving. No, from Creed before he left.
Beforehand, I thought he itsy bitsy spiders way up fully healed. But also, Lynn, what do you want to do against guys who literally the whole thing is their HP regen is off the charts? Like they were never going to leave lasting damage because that's like their main ability.
I'm just saying our guys.
Luffy ain't even found a way to
look. I know, and that's my point. I'm just saying our guys are looking a little weak in this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can agree.
That's all I'm saying. But Robin looked good.
Would you rather them look weak against a Gorosei or weak against a Vice Admiral?
Oh no, weak against a Gorosei, but for sure. They whooped the Vice Admirals. That we already acknowledged. If Saturn's a jobber, then the Vice Admirals can't even come to the party.
Look, if you don't got the Justice Cloak, what are you doing?
You know what's crazy? Even though Usopp is like the weakest Straw Hat, why I feel like he could take out 3 Vice Admirals.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
If he used the right pods, like in Snookum,
I just want my man to get hockey bullets. Like if he get hockey bullets, the Vice Admirals are fucked. Super fucked. But I think
Vice Admirals can deal. I don't even think Vice Admirals can deal with Monster Point Chopper.
I think they're fucked regardless. No, like I think anything those pop greens Usopp has could take out them Vice Admirals. But the next thing is the Mother Flame, which people who said Oda lost his art capability, shut the fuck up. Look at how good this panel looks, bro. That is like intricate. Like that's that when he was drawing Kid, super crazy with all those like gaskets and everything. And bro. Like that Mother Flame thing looks beautiful.
He definitely stepped his mecha style game up because he said he always loved mecha.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was like prepping to get ready for an arc where he'd have to
And
be
Kid is like steampunk, where this is like the quintessential top tier mech shit. Like he was like, I can make Kid shit look a little, a little off because it's like it's junk. Whereas Vegapunk has the top of the line Wapple metal. Like,
Look, as long as that Joy Boy versus Emu battle does not turn into a Ninja Kamui mecha battle, I think we're good.
I'm fine with it being that way
Exactly.
for a little bit.
Also, I will say the Mother Flame thing having on it the A in Mew,
Yeah,
E-Mew type situation. I
yeah.
think that's very interesting.
I looked it up. A obviously isn't an element, but MU is a element that was created in a laboratory. It does not naturally appear in nature.
Mm.
So like, to help with that, the S108, like real big stuff going on here.
Also, this looks very similar to the panel from everybody should go to Reddit because the Reddit users have already put this out there. But the cover story with Inaru, we basically know what the three ancient weapons were. That's what people are predicting, that the Mother Flame is the original one is Uranus. We had a picture that looked like Pluton, and then in the bottom right, it had like the fish and everything representing beside like the Sea Kings. So Oda kind of told us about this back at Skypiea. Like this Mother Flame thing definitely seems like it was foreshadowed.
Yeah, and see, if I can just go off the dome right now. So I think that, first of all, I think it's very interesting that Mother Flame is just the same both things to really emphasize it of like, no, it has no other title. It is the Mother Flame. That's important. Lock into that. Second of all, because of the fact that it's called the Mother Flame and it seems to be like almost a spirit or like a particular flame that exists in that, and then like they extract from it, I think the way that the Mother Flame works seems to be like it gives birth or is extracted from into canisters, and then they put it into their big flying ship and they do what they do to Lelucia. Like, so like, you need this actual Mother Flame in its source, because if it breaks out or whatever, it'll either one, blow everything fuck up, or
Or
two, it'll
just
just be,
constantly burn. Like I feel
yeah,
like a Materatsu type shit.
or it'll expel itself and then like you can't get it back.
Or it
From
just goes out. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
like don't get me
yeah.
wrong, it'll be destructive, but then after that, like it's a
It's
non-renewable
done.
resource. They are not
Yeah.
smart enough to remake it, so they have to save it.
Right.
But in the meantime, if they just wean it off periodically, they can, capture these canisters, and that determines how many like shots they have of their new ancient weapon. Or,
Also, let me ask y'all,
yes.
because this is a recreation and is not the original, do we think that Judge was studying this from Vegapunk, because Vegapunk made the actual one, but do we think Judge was studying this and that's kind of where Sanji's E-Freak comes from, or Sanji's Diablo John Blade? Like, do we think that, that was put like I don't want to say Judge put it in there consciously because we don't know how he built Sanji, but I could definitely see Sanji's fire technique be related to this in some form.
I don't know why he wouldn't give it to all of his kids though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Like
Like
I
an
think it's
etern-
still
an
might be
eternal
wait,
power
but
source.
let me ask you. Maybe he did give it to all of them, but they just couldn't unlock it because of qualifications.
their passion.
Yeah, or their emotion. Like, what if
Yeah.
what if the Mother Flame and look at its name, the Mother Flame. Sanji's mother gave him his emotions, thus allowing him to unlock that fire power. Maybe the Mother Flame has something to do with, emotions or something on the spectrum of passion or will, as we know with One Piece. And I definitely could see Sanji's fire abilities be connected to this in some way. A weaker version of it.
I still think that like Sanji's abilities might be vaguely related to like gene splicing with like some Lunarians or something.
And boom, wait,
Queen,
we're on the same
yeah,
page. Because I think, what
Yeah.
if the Lunarian flame is connected to this as well? Like, what if the original Mother Flame came from the Lunarians? What if it was a gift of the Lunarians or the reasons why we had
the flame looks the same
as the one on King's back.
as
Yeah.
the one on like the Seraphim and King's back. Yeah. So
I could see that they had the original. I could say they had the original Mother Flame, like the original ancient weapon, the Mother Flame. We could credit the Lunarians for that.
And then
if that is the ancient weapon,
Yeah, and then also, I don't know, it's possible that maybe the last of the Lunarians are in there.
I could get down with that. And also remember, like you said, they experimented on King. What if the experimentation on King is the reason why we're able to have this Mother Flame today?
Yeah, and they also have, we also have the SSG guys, does the Seraphim. So I don't know, maybe once the Seraphim like gets weak or isn't useful, maybe they juice it and put it in for
And
like,
put it in the mother, yeah, like a contain. And look, I can see. Look, I definitely think
That's why they was in them tanks.
I could definitely see the Seraphim, the Lunarians, and Sanji all be related to the Mother Flame. 100%. 150%.
I think what we need to get Luffy's ass down here and see if he hears the voice of all things around this thing.
Yeah, but see, I don't think he's gonna go down there.
Especially if he goes well, I mean, what if he gets crashed down like in Alabasta?
Oh, I get. That's the only way. Because if not, I feel like Oda's keeping him away from that. Like Luffy's the farthest person from that. Like if we realize, like he is battling Warframe, and they're trying to get him to leave. He doesn't want to.
It's like, you know, the more I look at this, it's like the more I want to think this is the real thing, but it's not. Like it's artificial. So it's like there's the real one somewhere, and I feel like
that's the one Luffy's gonna encounter.
We zoom in on this. I don't know. Like we zoom in on this, and I think this might be like a living thing.
It could it very well could be. I'm not denying
have
that.
Some kind of soul, you know, like
something.
Because we do know that some things talk in One Piece, even if they aren't alive, because of the voice of all things.
Or will, but like to Jazz's point, I definitely think because this is the artificial one, I definitely think I can see Luffy fucking with the other one.
But also, it looks like it's surviving in water.
It is, which is very interesting.
Well, not water, but like some type of liquid.
Yeah, like amniotic fluid or some shit.
How's it still burning? Like, how does it still have this power? And
the first thing I thought about. The first thing I thought about when Luffy literally did the Red Hawk for the first time, and he ignited it underwater, and I was like, well, what the fuck? How did he do that?
Yep, and very similar properties.
That might have been foreshadowing.
Yeah, and we didn't. I don't think we got a chance to see it, and you know, he was kind of a wash because of the fact that he is a devil fruit, so that would have fucked him over. I think King would have been able to burn even underwater if he didn't have the devil fruit.
I agree. If he didn't have that whatchamacallit shit, if he didn't have the pterodactyl shit.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Wait, sidebar.
It was kind of
why does a Lunarian even need
a devil fruit? He didn't. I honestly think that made King worse.
I think it was. Well, I mean, it made him his own, which was a regen buff.
But in the sense of, like you said, he can't go in the water anymore. Like, there's things he can't do. Like, I don't think he needed that to be ultimately strong. Like, also, all I think it did was give him that regen buff. That's it.
Well, I also think it's possible that the pterodactyl mode or even the hyper mode, like, Lunarians can fly, but we know other Skypians can't. It might still be very difficult for them to fly, like, long distances
and added speed to it. Yeah.
Travel. Like, it might have been strictly easier for him to fly in that mode than normal. Again, not saying that he couldn't, but there's no between moving around and like being able to fly and fighting, and then like, oh, Kaido sent me on a mission. I have to go like way the fuck over there. And I don't want to take a ship.
Also, real quick, I do think another reason why they have Luffy out and not going towards either the Dome or the other Straw Hats is because that giant's still on the move. I think they have to keep him out there.
Get an update on him.
Yeah, and seeing the giant, I think Luffy won't be able to leave until the giant robot gets to him.
I wonder if the giant's powered by like a mother flame.
Might be, or just the giant may be powered by the original, the original flame, and because Luffy's heartbeat was there, it turned that flame back on type situation.
Because I think its belly is like a furnace. But maybe I'm wrong on that.
I definitely, because I watched the anime episode the other day. If I remember correctly, it kind of looks like that. But we do see Eam. Eames doesn't say anything. Eames just dotting. I definitely think it's interesting that the Celestial Dragons are like, the Void Century, what is he talking about? They don't know. So they were hiding it from them too. Wow.
I think, especially because it zooms in on the women, I think some of them know.
Some of them don't.
Yeah, like, because it specifically shows, death is too good for him. Bring his body back. We'll tear him limb from limb. And the other ones are just freaking out. And yet this woman, Charlotte, the one hung out with Charlotte or whatever, she's the one
Charlotte's dad. That's Charlotte's dad's lady.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was his mom or like his aunt or something. But anyway,
yeah, it could be.
But yeah, she's the only one who's questioning it. Like, what's going on?
She's asking the right questions, which I think is very, very interesting. Then love seeing Saul like, we got the last laugh.
Dude, Saul's chilling like J. Cole right now. He's doing
I mean, basically.
Saul's like, we got the last laugh, O'Hara. Let's go.
And also, I imagine, like, in the Land of Giants, he's the Land of Giants is probably safer than most just because of how huge everything is.
Yeah, he don't have to worry about nothing.
Not as good as the Red Line, but I do want to ask, because we are on the same with Eam, and then we now have Eam here, dot dot dot. We have the Gorosei who are freaking out and are like, all right, everyone gotta die. We see that some of the Celestial Dragons seem not to know, and we see how Kainu could go either way, along with Aokiji. My question to you is, and I wanted to ask this for the last thing, is the sinking intentional by Eam or some other force, or is it just happening like climate change in our world?
Good question. I
I think that's the
think,
question.
oh man, okay. I think it's a result of a choice that Eam made. So I think Eam made a choice, thus making it have to happen regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I feel like
Do you think Eam would stop it
Nah.
if they could?
I think it can be stopped, but I don't think Eam wants to stop it.
Well, but again, why? Like, because the same thing with like Blackbeard brought up earlier and others is like, what's the point of ruling the fucking world if the world you're ruling is kind of shit?
I think it's
Like,
one of those things to where it's like the cleansing. I could see this having to do with that, and I
And
think it could
also,
be a new cleansing
and
type
also,
situation.
if
so
Emu
do you
is
think
like,
it'd go back down?
yeah, because
Yeah,
like
I think it could.
after a long time
Yeah,
though, because
after
you
a
gotta think about it,
while.
Emu and the Gorosei can wait this out because they're obviously immortal. So like they can watch the world flood
But
and like
Jazz, they
literally
still need to be
reset.
able to repopulate the Earth, though.
I
Who is
think
it
they
they
have a
plan on
way.
saving? Just the CDs? That's not enough
No, but
biodiversity.
I think there's a way similar to how,
Oh yeah,
let's say this cleansing happened in the Void Century, and this was a similar thing. I think they have a way to do it.
Well,
Or
then
I think they save certain people, certain family. I think certain things get saved to where,
okay.
yeah, to
So
where you can have enough population.
The Void Century happened, the war happened. Let's say that at the very end, the deciding factor, Joe Boy's defeated.
mm-hmm.
They pull all their stuff up to higher ground, including Skypiea, and they
Mm-hmm.
move the poneglyphs. So, do we think the flood happened then? Because we do have recorded history afterward, and they don't mention like, hey, then the Great Draining happened, and then a bunch
No,
of
see, yeah,
there's land, and
I think the
then
flood had to happen, and then the history's wiped, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the flood
so you
is
think it was like a flash flood. Well, why is it slowly happening now?
that I don't know.
Like the last couple years, they didn't
Mm.
have a reason to flood. I mean, the Revs were the thing or whatever, but they didn't know Joe Boy was back yet.
And I definitely, okay, so whatever the decision was, I think that triggered a flash flood type situation.
And
And
now it's slow.
and it's slow, yeah. And it's like, if we need to push that button again, we will. And I think that's why it was intentionally put that they live on top of the red line. Like, I
Right.
think
Yeah,
that,
they
like,
definitely moved on top of the red line knowing this might happen. I just don't know
mhm.
if they knew if it was happening naturally or if they started this.
I definitely think they're responsible for the previous one. I
Mhm.
don't know if I think they're indirectly responsible for this.
I just really hope that if it is responsible, let me say this. I hope that Eam actually doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay. You hope
Just
it's
because,
natural.
yeah, and I hope that maybe even Eam is trying to prevent it, but just has a horrible, fucked up way of doing it. Or if not trying to prevent it, is doing I'm basically gonna make an arc for the people I like, and then we'll get some chattel slavery going on like across the ring, and then eventually we'll find a way to drain it out, and then we'll get everything back to where it is, and we'll just play the long con
Also,
because I'm immortal.
another way they could get people out, and I just thought of this, and another reason why I think they are responsible, Tequila Bridge, the bridge that's high enough to like transport people.
Mhm.
Or the Tequila Wolf Bridge that, like,
Yeah.
is allowing them to transport multiple people to wherever they want to go. I'm definitely in the camp
And they
of,
do
I
know
think they're
Skypiea
indirectly
exists.
responsible.
They know Skypiea exists, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
even know that theoretically speaking, you could
They could get
even
there.
get on the moon, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm. Also, if
But
you go
yeah,
to the moon drawings, it's like back to that
yeah.
thing that the cover story, it shows people flying those arcs up there. So like, I definitely think they have ways to like, what if they lived on the moon for a bit while it was flooded and then came back down type like, I feel like it could be a
Course.
multitude of
Yeah,
things.
because that is what the Giants happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they went up there even further though. Like they're earlier than Void Century, just like how, and we'll get to this at the end of the chapter. But the last thing I'll say is,
Mhm.
I'm just hoping I don't want Eam I don't want the last villain of One Piece, even if it's not Eam. I don't want the last villain of One Piece to be like, ha ha ha, I'm going to just flood the world, even though it benefits me none whatsoever. Because One Piece is such a great fucking story with nuanced villains and like cool shit and what it says about the world. I think that being like the last drive motivation of the last villain, or at least the king at the top of the world, would be like a disservice to the story that has been 20 plus years in the making. I just
Fair.
hope there's a good reason for it. Me
No,
personally.
I'm with you. I definitely want a
Or
reason
if
for why
it's
this is
gonna
happening.
if it's gonna be vanilla, I just don't want us to have to spend as much time with him, and just make him kind of one note, and then we, just keep Black
Get him
Beard.
out of here. Yeah, that's fair. I guess really the final thing is just the final page where we find out that Joy Boy is the first pirate, which I think a lot of people called. I could see him either being a giant or a buccaneer. I definitely think that straw hat is his, and yeah. So shout out to that. And knowing that Luffy had his power makes it even doper. I think we already knew that, but that was confirmed. I think the revelations that we got from Vegapunk in this chapter were cool, but I think the ones we get in the next chapter are going to be even better.
So let me
Question.
ask y'all a question, right?
I think you about to have the same question I have. Go ahead, Jazz.
We think Joy Boy gonna have an eye patch?
That's
You weren't asking the question I was gonna ask, but I definitely agree. I think because Oda said a primary important character is gonna have the eye patch.
It's like, I'm gonna be honest.
He's the only one left.
I'm gonna be
OG
honest
pirate.
because because every rock silhouette we see, he would definitely have an eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we would have seen that by now.
I was about to say, if it's not Joy Boy, it's Rocks, and like you said, I don't think Rocks has one because we would have known that. I could definitely see Joy Boy being the eye patch one. That leads into my question: if he is, do we think that we get the Joy Boy flashback with Vegapunk's story?
No.
Not necessarily the world gets it, but us as the reader, do we get it? Some sort of Joy Boy flashback.
We're getting something. We're getting something.
Yeah.
No, we're getting something.
We are not ending it with the
getting
first spark of Joy Boy, original pirate.
And I think he said that the pirate thing leading into whatever. Like, like how we did with Odin. Like how when he mentioned Odin, it was like, all right, time for the Odin flashback.
Especially with it being, let's be a little meta about it, with it being a break week. I think if it wasn't a break next week, I'd be worried we were going to get pulled. But Oda generally likes to deliver whenever he knows we're getting into chapters. That's why this one's stuffed, and the next one I think will be stuffed because it'll have to be 2 weeks worth of content.
Also, I think you remember before we got into the Odin flashback, there definitely was a break, and I don't know if this will be the full Void Century flashback, but I think this will be our introduction to Joy Boy, and it'll be a flashback that connects to this, what he's telling right now.
I also think, like, and sorry if I'm like talking too much, like, this is the final arc. According to Oda, this is the final saga. He said it. He already said this arc took longer than he thought it would. I mean, this might be Oda's best chance to fucking get it out there, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, how much more runway he got?
I understand people wanted a laugh tale, which like makes a lot of sense, but maybe it's time that we know it. Maybe it's time that the audience knows it before we get to laugh tale.
My only thing is like how Vegapunk wouldn't know everything.
And I know 100%, 100%.
So I feel like we'd be getting the basis of the story, and then we fill in the gaps at laugh tale.
And
I'm down with that. But that's what I'm saying. Like we get the flashback that's prevalent to what Vegapunk knows. Like
we might not get a proper flashback. We might have another chapter of Vegapunk telling the story while we physically stay with the Straw Hats drawing, but we might just get like an overview. Also, I think it also speaks to the fact that Vegapunk, much like with Roger, what Rayleigh said was, you guys might come to a completely different conclusion. I think we're going, and he also prefaced it, I'm a scientist. I'm going to stick to the facts as I know them.
Yeah, and it's not my job to make a moral decision for y'all. He definitely said that.
So he's like, I'm going to give you my book report. This is what I have on Good Business. This I'm keeping it 100. I don't have the whole story, but this is bar for bar what I know from a scientist's point of view.
And that's why I think we could get a flashback that's prevalent to this particular point. I think it'll either be what Versen said, where it's like we stick with the Straw Hats and the narration continues. But man, would I love I won't say a proper flashback, but just going back, seeing Joy Boy as a pirate, something of where we see him on a ship, and maybe that's it.
We'll probably get more details from Elbath. Well, let me say this and start it. Well, Jazz, you go first.
Well, no, I was just saying, like, I would at least, like, if we get anything, I wouldn't. I mean, 9 out of 10, we're probably gonna get a silhouette of Joy Boy, but I would like if his whole character
was shown. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm not saying it has to be, but like,
I would love that.
It'd be great, man.
Yeah, I would love that. That's where I'm at. Like, whatever he's telling, let us see him, and then continue the narration of this particular Cliff notes.
Like
of what you know.
him and Vivi.
Or him and Lily. Like
the Lily, I keep saying Vivi. Jesus
if
Christ.
that ties into what is going on right now. If it does,
Yeah.
you know.
So let me also say this. So, you know,
And this will be
glad
our
that-
final things because we're
yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
wrapped.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's kind of like restating it a little bit in here, but we have to keep in mind Nika and Joy Boy are two different people, which
Mhm.
means that we have two different eras though.
True.
Joy Boy is the advanced civilization and 900 years Void Century, all that stuff, and that's important. That might be the most important. Gold Roger even says, Joy Boy, I wish I had been around in your time. It was fucking crazy.
Whereas Nika's the original person with the
Nika is a mythological so far back we don't
deity.
even really have a thing for it, and they are linked by like inherited will. We might get the Joy
two
Boy
flashbacks
and the Nika
and
at
the
Elbaf.
yeah, good point. Good
know,
point.
because
the Nika
story
is their
a
god.
little-
Yeah,
and
we
the
can
Nika
see
story is something we need.
and we can
so
see how Nika connects to the Giants and why the Giants hold Nika in so much reverence. Whereas to Versen's point, if there's any time to push the button on Joy Boy, it's now. And for Laugh Tale, for us to make a decision, we have to know Nika's story and Joy Boy's story, and we see how they collide to deal with Eam at Laugh Tale.
And
I like that.
There's still the threads we need from Joy Boy now too that we may or may not have.
I like that.
This book report might just be Void Century, and then we'll have to get the connective tissue in between. That we're probably gonna need someone who was either around for a lot of that or whatever. That I think we're gonna either we might need another like
Robin
a
Reed
or Rocks or a fucking new Poneglyph or something. Or a giant, because giants live
long enough. Yeah, the oldest giant. Yeah, I can get down with that. I could definitely see it being separated into 3 flashbacks type situation. This is Joy Boy part 1. Then we get Nika at Elbaf, and then at Laugh Tale, we get the combination of Nika and Joy Boy and why they connect and matter to the world as a whole. I could get down with that.
Also, I would just say, because I was just thinking about it, I'm almost kind of bummed that Oda blew the Phoenix Solar Fruit. As much as I like Marco and I love what he's done with it, I think it's cool as fuck, especially as an introduction as a mythological zone. Because I think if there was going to be a living creature inside that wasn't just like a slurry of Lunarians, sorry to phrase it that way, it would be an owner of the Phoenix Fruit. Which is a bummer, but there are other mythological fruits you can put in there as like a flame entity.
That'd be crazy
True.
if it was just like a plain Phoenix, like so it would give it would give more credence to the whole mythical fruit thing, because it's like the first mythical fruit we saw was Marco's, and the first actual mythical being we're seeing is a Phoenix. I think it'd be cool.
Well, I mean, technically the first mythical fruit we saw was Luffy's. We just didn't know.
Oh, bro.
I know what y'all saying, though. I know. But I had to say it. But like, what if? But I mean, real shit. What if Joy Boys?
Hold on. Technically, the first mythological fruit, we saw them dragons over in Punk Hazard. They were growing a lab, but they were dragons.
What if Joy Boys?
Is that why the celestial dragons also want the dragons, so they can fly around on this flooded world?
Maybe, possible, very much so possible. What if Joy Boy's first commander was someone who had the mythological fruit, therefore being, connected to the first fruit we see, his right-hand man, Phoenix.
Joy Boy's right-hand man was a devil fruit merchant. I gotta shake my head.
No, clearly Joy Boy's right-hand man was from Ano or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And also a Sammer.
Did you see that? Niggas was saying Joy Boy's right-hand man was Ryuma. I was like, what?
I saw that too. I was like, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. All right, but yeah, that.
Well, I have one question to finish off, and with the whole flooded thing that we got going on, whatever. So it doesn't necessarily have to be left out, but in general, how do you think the War of One Piece is going to end? Are we gonna find a way to stop the flood? We're gonna keep it the same, or, and I think it's funny, is Luffy gonna go cartoon mode and pull the giant drain, and then we're gonna drain
it out?
Not all of it, a lot, because pirates still have to exist, but a lot
Drain
of
some
it,
of
because
it.
I think that's the best way. If we're not going into space, which I'm also fine with, if Luffy just hitches a rocket and goes into outer space, it would be funny if we drain some of it, because as long as we don't drain it all, that makes more islands and more adventures in a whole new world that everyone has to find.
I'm gonna say, let's table this question. I like that you posed it. Let us think on it, and we'll make this into a separate video, because I definitely think that is video worthy of us making it a whole thing. That way we can come up with some theories and some ideas of like multiple ones. But I definitely like the drain one as the thing to leave us with. So hell yeah. All right, fellas, that's pretty much everything. Jazz, start us off. Tell us where they can find you at on social media.
You could follow me on Instagram, Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on Twitter, Real Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on TikTok, Cornell D God.
Versen, tell the people where they can follow you at on social media.
You can follow me pretty much anywhere at Versen the Vassal, or you can use my real name, Josh Treskler. Here's a little PSA. If you're a kid leaving university and you don't plan on taking your shit with you, go donate it somewhere instead of filling up all these giant dumpsters. People could use that. It's cool. Oh, and also everyone be more conscious about how you impact the environment, or we're all going to be in the exact situation that
that One Piece world is in fact.
I'm just saying. Some people already are, but that's just me.
I'm looking at you, Taylor Swift.
Yes, get that ass.
All right, you guys can follow me at LimbWT. Follow the Bros Who Think at Bros Who
I
Think.
didn't realize Taylor Swift was in
Be on the lookout for the next video. If there is a break, then I'm letting y'all know when I get back from Minnesota, which will be on Thursday. The next One Piece video we'll do, which is Versen suggested. How do we think One Piece will end, in particular, how we do deal with the flood? If there is a break, if there's not, then we'll just review the chapter and do that video after. But I think there is a break, so that's what we'll do next week. So be on the lookout for that. Until next time, you guys have a good one, and peace.